The biggest football beefs that happened in the 2022-2023 season. Football is often referred to as the beautiful game, but at times it can turn ugly. With the rise of media coverage, every aspect of relationships within the footballing world is scrutinized. This includes conflicts between teammates and coaches, as well as managers targeting owners and governing bodies. But we still love it when it gets ugly, right? That's why we've compiled the biggest football beefs that have happened this season, from Antonio Conte versus Tottenham Hotspurs to Mbappe versus Neymar. Be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell for more things football. Karim Benzema versus the French Football Federation. Despite all the controversy surrounding the 2022 World Cup in Qatar, it was set to be a spectacle. It would be Messi and Ronaldo's last hurrah. Brazil finally had a team that was worthy of being World Cup contenders, and France were still strong enough to defend their title. That was until Benzema had to withdraw from the squad due to injury. But there's a twist. According to Karim Benzema's agent, Karim Jaziri, the striker was willing to play for France in the World Cup round of 16 stage, but was sent home earlier than necessary by coach Didier Deschamps and the medical staff. Benzema sustained a thigh injury during training on November 19th, just 3 days before the start of France's World Cup campaign. The French Football Federation predicted that he would need 3 weeks to recover from the injury. However, after consulting with the national team doctor, Frank Legal, Deschamps determined that Benza should be withdrawn from the squad, which led to the striker returning to train with Real Madrid. Jaziri put the French Football Federation on blast when he shared a video of Benzema's scan at the Qatari hospital alongside the words, "I've consulted 3 specialists who confirmed the diagnosis that Benzema could have been fit from the round of 16, to be on the bench at least. Why did you ask him to leave so quickly?" He then continued by tweeting, "A week after his departure, Benzema started running again. After 4 days of training, he played 30 minutes in a friendly for Real Madrid. Keep on lying, the truth is coming out." France reached the World Cup final, but were ultimately defeated by Argentina on penalties in the absence of Benzema. Perhaps it can be argued that France would have gone all the way with Benzema in the squad, or at least a replacement striker. According to sources, coach Didier Deschamps decided against calling up a replacement for Benzema, as he believed the injury was severe enough to prevent the player from featuring in the tournament for 3 weeks. However, Benzema reportedly felt that if Deschamps valued him, he would have kept him in the squad to participate in the knockout stage. The French-Algerian striker has since retired from international football. Antonio Conte versus Tottenham Hotspurs. After Tottenham Hotspur squandered a 2-goal lead to draw 3-3 with Southampton, their manager Antonio Conte strongly criticized his players, questioning both their motivation and the club itself. The Italian coach, who had already been expected to leave the club at the end of the season, also seemed to criticize Tottenham's owner, Joe Lewis, and the club chairman, Daniel Levy, which raised doubts about his own immediate future. Conte's criticism of Tottenham and its players went well beyond the disappointing 3-3 draw with Southampton, despite only answering 2 questions in a 10-minute rant. He even brought up past failures, such as the 1-0 loss to Sheffield United in the FA Cup in March. To illustrate his point, "I think it's better to go into the problem we are not a team," he said. "We are 11 players that go into the pitch. I see selfish players, players that don't want to help each other and don't put their heart into it. This season, compared to last, now we are worst in this aspect. When you are not a team, you cannot improve." He continued by saying that if you have the fire in your eyes, you don't go out in the FA Cup. Here we are, used to this for a long time. The club has the responsibility for the transfer market, the coach has the responsibility. But the players, where are the players? I see only 11 players that play for themselves. Additionally, he directed his criticism toward the culture of Tottenham as a club, which may have been an interest to chairman Daniel Levy, who was present at the match and faced criticism from some away fans. It is easy in this way. Tottenham's story is this: 20 years there was an owner and they never won something, but why? The fault is only for the club, or for every manager that stay here. I've seen that the managers that Tottenham had on the bench, you risk to disrupt the figure of the manager and to protect the other situation in every moment. Until now I tried to hide the situation, but now, no. Because I repeat, I don't want to see what I've seen today. For Conte, he cannot foresee any fortuitous changes for the North London club anytime soon, as he concluded his rant by saying, "Everyone has to take their responsibility, not only the club, the manager, and the staff. The players have to be involved in the situation because it's time to change the situation if Tottenham wants to learn change. They can change the manager, a lot of managers, but the situation cannot change, believe me." It's fair to say that these comments did not go down well with the Spurs hierarchy. However, as Tottenham parted ways with Antonio Conte soon after, Marking the fourth managerial change in 4 years under the leadership of Chairman Daniel Levy, Cristian Stellini took over as interim manager until the end of the season, in a move that echoed the club's decision to appoint an interim manager after sacking Jose Mourinho 2 years ago. Is there light at the end of the tunnel for Tottenham? Kylian Mbappe versus Neymar Jr. Before reaching boiling point in the Ligue 1 game between PSG and Montpellier on August 13, 2022, there were rumors of tension in the PSG camp. In the 21st minute of the game, Kylian Mbappe missed a penalty kick. A few minutes before halftime, PSG was awarded another penalty, which Neymar took instead of Mbappe. Despite his earlier miss, Mbappe was visibly upset at being removed from the penalty duty and voiced his frustration to Neymar, who ignored him and scored the penalty. During the game, Mbappe also showed displeasure after not receiving a through ball from Vitinha, stopping his run and throwing his arms up in frustration. After the final whistle, there were reports of a heated altercation between Mbappe and Neymar in the dressing room, with Sergio Ramos having to intervene to prevent a physical confrontation. Neymar also liked a tweet suggesting that Mbappe's new contract, which he signed after being linked with a move to Real Madrid, had made him feel the owner of PSG. There have been rumors that Mbappe's behavior has been affected by the power that comes with his new contract, which suggests that he even attempted to have a South American teammate move out of Paris during the summer transfer window. In PSG's next game against Lille, Mbappe, Neymar, and Messi combined in the first 8 seconds, with Mbappe scoring the first of his 3 goals and a stunning hat-trick. However, prior to the match, talks had been held behind closed doors in response to reports of tension in the team. The entire PSG squad was present at a team meeting where senior officials urged the players to put any differences aside and work together for the benefit of the team. The head coach, Christophe Galtier, believes that the matter has been resolved, stating that there is no discomfort and the team has moved on. Mbappe signed a new contract that will keep him at the club until 2025, while Neymar, who is the most expensive player in the world, is also under contract until the same summer. Julian Nagelsmann versus Bayern Munich. Last month, Julian Nagelsmann was unexpectedly replaced by Thomas Tuchel as the head coach of Bayern Munich. This came as a surprise to many. Nagelsmann's Bayern Munich had just knocked out favorite Paris Saint-Germain from the Champions League and beaten league leaders Borussia Dortmund 4-2 that same weekend. The truth is that since the World Cup, Bayern's performance has been inconsistent and were 1 point behind Borussia Dortmund in the league standings before Nagelsmann was axed. Upon learning that Thomas Tuchel was discussing a possible vacancy at Tottenham, Bayern quickly acted. The issue is that Nagelsmann was reportedly on a skiing holiday and missed several calls from club chiefs. As a result, he was unaware that he was being sacked until it was leaked in the media, and he was alerted by journalists about his imminent departure from the Bavarian club upon his arrival back in Germany. As one journalist asked, "Do you know you will be sacked tomorrow?" And he said, "No, I only got a phone call that I have to show up today at the headquarters." While Bayern Munich CEO Oliver Kahn admitted that the circumstances surrounding Nagelsmann's departure as a disaster and a difficult situation for the club's leadership, he was adamant that no one from the Bayern leaked the information to the media, and that it was made clear from the beginning that Nagelsmann would be the first to know. Despite this, Nagelsmann's management agency Sports 360 has contradicted these statements, stating that they had to contact Bayern sporting director Hasan Salihamidzic after reading reports about Nagelsmann's imminent departure from the German champions. In a statement, the management agency said, "There has been no contact or try to get in contact from Bayern." After all the rumors in the media, the management of Julian Nagelsmann contacted Hasan Salihamidzic by themselves. Nagelsmann was later informed of his sacking in a 61-minute meeting, and Tuchel was promptly appointed as his replacement. When Oliver Kahn was asked if Bayern had arranged a deal with Tuchel before informing Nagelsmann of his dismissal, the Bayern Munich board member strongly denied that such an agreement was in place. But how true is this? Griezmann versus Deschamps. After the retirement of Hugo Lloris and Raphael Varane, there was much speculation about who would become the next new captain of the French national team. Coach Deschamps had been tight-lipped about his choice and only hinted at Mbappe's leadership qualities. However, according to several sources, the decision was made well before the announcement of the latest squad. Deschamps said in a press conference on Monday that he needed time to reflect before revealing his choice. It turns out that the meetings Deschamps had with Mbappe and Griezmann on Monday were not to discuss the captaincy decision, but rather to inform them of the decision he had already made. On Monday night, the French players were assembled in the common room of their Clairefontaine training camp, with the exception of a few players receiving treatment. Deschamps first informed Mbappe that he would be the new captain before breaking the news to Griezmann. It wasn't until an hour later that the rest of the squad were informed of the decision. Griezmann, who had a close relationship with the Champs and had acclimated significant experience with the French national team, was understandably disappointed by the decision to pass him over the captaincy in favor of Mbappe. However, to avoid any tension or negative atmosphere within the team, the two players played PlayStation together to clear the air. Griezmann has reportedly accepted the decision and acknowledges that Mbappe is the future of the team, as evidenced by the privileges he has already been granted in Qatar, such as skipping certain obligations. Still, would Griezmann have been taken seriously with his new pink hair? Football has provided us with some of the most exciting moments in sporting history, but it has also given rise to some of the most intense beefs as seen throughout this season. From heated rivalries between players to disagreements between managers and owners, football has seen it all. However, it is worth remembering that these feuds are simply a reflection of the passion and intensity that make football such a beloved sport around the world. While some of these disputes may have been ugly, they have also provided us with unforgettable moments and added to the drama and spectacle of the beautiful game. In the end, it is the love for the sport that will always triumph over any feud or disagreement. Let us know what you think in the comments below, and don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell for part 2.